Welcome to Look Your Pothead Joe Pop Puttyman here, and today I'm going to be showing you something special. Me and Campo Reviews did a podcast of Comic Con. Well, once we did this podcast, we were unaware of something coming up called DC Fandom, and we did record the podcast for that as well. So, what you're going to be seeing right here is actually the Comic Con podcast that recorded before DC Fandom. And then from there, you're going to be able to see DC Fandom later down, I would say about a week from now or so. So it's going to be a little bit time difference, but I hope you guys enjoy it. But let's go ahead and get into the Comic-Con podcast. I hope you guys are enjoy it. And comment below if you guys want to see more like this. All right, let's go ahead and continue from here. Welcome to Look Your Pothead Joe Pop Playman here, and today I'm with this guy. I don't know if he's over here, he's up there. I don't know where how it works. I have no idea. But we are here with John with Camp Reviews. Say what's up, John, and the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, sorry.
Sound problems, guys. Technical difficulties.
Issues. Hi, it's me.
Yeah, that's him, that guy, that one guy. But you probably know him from RLG and RLG2 and Camp Reviews. Check him out on Instagram.
And you can find me at pornhub.com /
big dog
Putty's lifestyle.
Exactly. All right. So today we're actually going to be kind of talking about the impact, I would say, or lack of thereof when it came to Comic-Con this year. So for those that may not be familiar, Comic-Con was at home this year because of the, you-know-what, I call it the Cocoa Puff virus. And
I love fucking Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, on my streams and everything, we call it Cocoa Puff virus. So because of the Cocoa Puff virus, they did a thing called Comic-Con 2020 at home. And I was lucky enough that I got to live stream it. Very successful streams. One stream, my day 2 stream was 9,000 views. It was very successful for me because it was only me and IGN. They were broadcasting it. Unfortunately, IGN was doing like cosplay stuff in their own interviews. But the reason I wanted to do this is because I want to recap some of the stuff that happened, but I also want to talk about some of the stuff that leads into events that's going to be coming up at the end of this month. And that's why I felt like it was a good conversation for me that John talked about. So let me go and explain why. We had panels online through Zoom like we're doing right now, actually, me and John, pretty much the way you're seeing it right now. And they would actually talk to celebrities like it was a panel, like the regular Comic-Con panel, talking about upcoming movies and events. And we didn't have very many movies. I had a lot of TV shows. Heck, we had one point Wiz Khalifa with the Duncanville panel actually sneaked a smoke of some weed. You see him pull blunt out. It was pretty funny. But we actually got a clip of that. But then we also had panels for movies that are upcoming. And this is where I want to get into the nitty gritty because it was a little bit odd when it came to the panels because we had one panel that was successful. It's probably my biggest panel of the night where I had 100 consecutive viewers for almost an hour. And that was actually during the Mattel WWE Elite Squad fan panel where they talked with Edge and a bunch of other wrestlers about action figures. No joke. It was just the oddest thing. And then we had the New Mutants panel, and then we had the Bill and Ted Face the Music panel. And that's kind of what I want to get into because on August 28th of this month, we're supposed to have release of both of those movies. Now, I know for Bill and Ted Face the Music, we're going to have on demand and in theaters. But so far, I'm only hearing New Mutants is going to come into theaters, which in my area, there is actually no theaters open. So, with Comic-Con feeling so odd and weird when it comes to like the panels and the way it was, first and foremost, let me ask you this real quick, John. You actually saw some of the panels afterwards. Yeah, I know they've been talking for a while, but let's talk to you now. When it comes to the panels, I know you saw some later on. What was the general effect for you? Was it just seem stale and boring for you, or what was the deal?
That's funny because I was just about to be like a heel. I was about to turn heel on you and just be like, this absolutely sucked. No, real talk. It was straight up garbage.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that was said and shown that I liked, but the idea of it isn't even bad. The format that they did it in was just stupid. It looked like nobody was ready. I'm just gonna film this in my washroom while I'm taking a dump.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody even had it planned out. Like if you're gonna shoot the New Mutants panel, at least have them have like New Mutants posters on the background, or you know what I mean, or something like that. Or if you're gonna shoot the action figures, have like it was just so like we're doing this right now, but for a professional movie company that's like you couldn't have any budget.
Yeah, well, that's actually the funny part. That's actually the funny part. The Bill and Ted Face the Music panel was actually moderated by Kevin Smith, and they literally had all the actors' panels behind the actual phone booth. So like they would open up like the phone booth to show the panels.
That was the best one. That's the only one I actually watched.
Yeah, and it was actually enjoyable. And see, the New Mutants one, I'm not gonna deny. I got excited to see some scenes for that movie. So it's kind of like one of those things where they pump me up for the movie, but at the same time, I'm like, this movie's been in such dormant that like I feel like it's gonna be so bad. But just because I've been waiting for so long to see it, I'm still hyped about it. Like,
can we just talk about that for a second?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go into it. Yeah.
Let's New Mutants first. So the trailer that they released at Comic-Con was amazing. Amazing. I couldn't believe it. But then they released a clip as well.
It was actually the first part of the show, the movie. It's actually the first part of the movie.
The clip was, I'm sorry if you liked it. That was so bad. me and my brother's like, just put it on. He's like, Putty keeps saying you got to watch it. So I put it on, and me and my brother were looking at it, and my brother's like, turn it off. Nick is like, turn it off. He's like, I don't want to watch this. I don't know if it's unfinished or something, but in comparison to what they showed in the trailer, and then seeing that, it was a complete like tone shift. It went from being like so cool and like good graphics to like really bad graphics and like a stupid opening. And I'm not saying I still want to see this movie. I'm hyped as hell to see this movie, but I don't know why that's what you showed up.
Well, that first scene, I actually got excited about it because I don't know if you're familiar with the later Mutants comics, not the originals with Deadpool and all that, but the later ones. And so there were when I saw, I don't want to do spoilers, but when I saw that big character that was in the beginning of that scene, I got pretty excited just to see it. You know what I mean? I was excited to it.
I was hoping it was going to be Wendigo.
Yeah, but then
I was like, oh, the movie's about the bear, so
yep. And I was excited to see the bear. That's the thing. I was excited to see it. And I think what it is I've been waiting so long for this movie that I'm just overhyped myself now at that point. So it's like, it's so horrible, but I'm like, I don't care. I just want to see this dang movie.
Yeah, I do.
You know? And see, that's the thing. I feel like when we go in the opposite direction when it comes to Bill and Ted Face the Music, I feel like the Bill and Ted Face the Music may be a little bit better only because it has a little more love put into it. And when it comes to Keanu Reeves, he's a sincerely nice guy, and I think that he actually wanted this to be good as well. I don't feel like it's something they wanted to do bad, and I think it's actually going to be enjoyable. And
shout out to Keanu Reeves, who grew up like right next to where I live.
Did he really? He's so lucky.
Like down the street.
Like such a cool guy.
But I agree with you on that, and I've been hyped for Bill and Ted before I even knew anything about it. As soon as they just mentioned it, I was on board.
I know.
Bill and Ted is like, it gets overlooked in the sense of quintessential 80s movies, because I do think a lot of people appreciate 90s, Bill and Ted. So isn't the first one like 89?
It might be. If it is, I really feel old then, because I thought it was
either
like
way.
90s.
Either way, hold on, I'm gonna look it up while we're talking. But,
okay.
But it's so like of that time, and it's so like a movie when everyone goes back and watches like Breakfast Club or Wayne's World, and they're like, oh, this is so of that time, and that's why I like it. This is that. The first one is genuinely a decent, well-made movie with good quality comedy that has like a coming-of-age kind of 80s style story that you would expect. Yep. The second one is not as good of a movie, but the comedy is like ramped up by 100 times.
Yep.
And it's so funny. Every single scene with death is like, oh my gosh, like when they're playing chess. So I've been hyped for this movie.
Yep.
I can see so much love going into this. This is a passion project from Alex Winter. He wanted this.
Yes.
He had so many like huge stars backing the making of this movie, including Kevin Smith. And Keanu Reeves is at the peak of Reeves right now. Like, he can't get any bigger. I'm not going to say I didn't like it, because I did, but the trailer was like lackluster.
I agree. And see, that's the thing. Like, there's so many things I'm excited about. Because the thing is, without having George Carlin, it's heartbreaking. But Death can fill in that part, definitely for sure. As long as they Melvin him, I'm gonna be happy as hell. You know.
I don't know. Can you see it?
89. It just hit the mark of 90. Let's go.
Well, hold on. I'll tell you the second. The second one is 91.
Oh wow, it's only 2 years apart. Okay, see, it seems like
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was like 4 years.
Well, that's the reason why I want to bring this up, is because we just point out two of the great panels, and The reason I want to go back on this, because we will definitely go back and talk about the outcome of what's happening. Because usually, here's the big thing about Comic-Con, and this is what the reason why I feel like they did at home, is that Comic-Con is always one of those things that always promoted those big movies or big shows. So, like, I know for me, one of the shows I love is actually a Hulu show made by the guys that made Rick and Morty. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head right now. But they
Solar
did,
Opposites.
yeah, Solar Opposites. And I actually saw that panel, and I liked it because they were talking about stuff and it just seemed fun. But the thing is when it comes to the panels, it felt like I was just going through some kind of education class. And it was even toxic at one point. I watched the Magic the Gathering panel, and when I was actually hosting that, I ended up getting good views on it, like 70 people. But I had so many toxic Magic players saying, "Shut up, Mod. I want to hear the guy." And the guy was talking about the most boring thing ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is without having the cosplay and being able to buy merchandise, you lose the sense of Comic-Con. And yes, we got our movies, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of movies dropped out of it. And yes, we got one good one, Bill and Ted's Basic Music, and then one bad one, which the bad one ended up showing more content than the good one.
Yeah, and it's like, there's certain things too. First of all, I don't play Magic. I never have.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of videos on it for some reason. It's rapidly declining in quality of game, but the value of the cards is still high. I'm not. That's like whatever. Comic-Con's big thing is still the panels, I think, right? And I agree with you. You lose all the feeling when you can't be there and buy things and see cosplayers and see people. I agree, because I go to every single con every single year that comes to Toronto every year. There's like 5. And the thing with the panels is that's weird is everyone's like, oh, it's so different. But realistically, only like 1 friggin' 20th of the people that are at Comic-Con actually get into those panels. So most of people are just watching it online anyways. It's just the way that they structured it this year didn't make sense to me. They could have just done it better. And that it lost the feeling. I agree with you. You don't get the feeling of Comic-Con from watching a YouTube video of everyone else just making YouTube videos.
Yeah. And see, you actually just pinpointed one thing that I got a lot of people coming in that were talking to me, and I'm sure you might have not noticed this, or you might not even look toward it this time. And a lot of people that might be watching this might be thinking, oh yeah, that's what I had a problem with too, was no one could find what they wanted to see. When it comes to Comic-Con, you schedule out what panels you're going to go to. And they did the same thing. You can go to Comic-Con, you can schedule your panels, but the way it works is they give you a link to a private video, and then that video would be released at a certain time, which I was watching on my live stream. But I had tons of people going, where could I find this video? And I tell them where the schedule was, but I go, well, they literally would have to look through 20 panels of like crap to find one good panel, let alone that panel might not even be good because it was all on a Zoom and it was boring at most. Like there were some fun times where they were just having fun, but it felt boring. And that's the thing. Leading into this, we're in a situation where we're all stuck at home. And because of us stuck at home, we're also missing out on chances of seeing good movies in theaters. And I know you, John, as well as me, we love, you're a moviegoer like I am. You love to go see the movies. You love to go out, do reviews, so on and so forth, which both Bill and Ted and New Mutants, when they come out, I will definitely be doing reviews of both of them. But the problem is I feel like, I'm still wanting my Black Widow movie, and I'm never going to get that. I feel like I'm never going to get that. I'm going to get it eventually, but I feel like I'm never going to get it because it's taken so long for it to release because it's a movie-going movie. So, like, even in your thing, watching the panel online, even just seeing these trailers, how has it felt for you when it comes to, like, the hype train to leading to these movies or anything, even when it comes to Comic-Con events or, like, TV shows, video games, everything that Comic-Con would bring to us, how does it feel when it's lost to have that and have that hype now, where we don't know where we're going to go as far as finding something new? Does that make sense? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, well, I think we did a podcast on this on RLG, didn't we? Where we talked about the theaters. I know that was
on my end, actually.
Okay,
yeah, actually on my end.
And those kind of movies are getting lost, and I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've got to the point now where I've accepted that this is the way it is, and I'm not really hyped for anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even bothered getting hyped because I know I'm not going to get it. So I'm excited that you're going to get Bill and Ted and hopefully New Mutants on demand.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's August right now, and my top lists of 2020 is like 21 movies. By now, usually my list by the end of the year is like my top must see movies of the year is like 90 movies. I'm gonna be lucky if I break 35 this year. So it's just like I just don't. I've completely reverted my reviewing like style to just be TV shows. I'm watching TV shows, and as I finish a season, I'm reviewing the season. And old shows that I have seen all the show already, I'm just dropping reviews for it because I don't have any content. And I never wanted to do TV. It was never my goal, but it's led to this. And I'm not super hyped anymore for Black Widow. Maybe it's just because of what's happened.
Right.
But I did really like the trailers and stuff. Don't get me wrong. But my hype for it is gone.
Yeah.
My hype has completely diverted now to Bill and Ted and New Mutants. That's what I want. Like, I'm so jacked for those two movies that like nothing else matters to me right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's because that those that have like they're coming much sooner, and like they're putting off the other stuff.
Yeah, and that's now what we have to focus on. Be hyped about the movies that you know are coming. Don't get hyped about the ones that are going to keep getting pushed back. And what you said earlier too, just touch on it. I'm super hyped for Solar Opposite season 2. That panel was what I like a lot of people in the chat groups I'm in are talking about, because that show came out of nowhere and is stupidly good.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's equal to or better than season 4 of Rick and Morty. So
I agree.
The fact that happened, I was like, whoa. Recommendations for you if you like that show. Final Space, if you've not seen Final Space yet, that is really good. And I believe they had a panel.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that, but yeah.
There's another show called Crossing Swords on Hulu.
Yep.
And it's made by Stupid Monkey and
no way.
Like Seth Green. And I did a review of it, and it's actually this first season is like a little mixed, but the comedy's like way over the top. You're not going to be expecting it. Like, it's extremely vulgar. Like, they're like little dolls, like little toy wooden dolls, and they like have sex with each other and like
no. Okay, I gotta watch this.
And I did the review on it, and then I got a message from a guy, and he said, I can't remember what he said, so I messaged him back, and then he messaged me back, and then we were having like a little thing in my chat, and then I realized he's the creator of the show. He's the owner of Stupid Monkey Studios with Seth Green or whatever it's called. Sorry.
No way, really?
And then we legit were talking for a bit, and he's like, wait, if you like season 1, he's like, wait for season 2. He's like, I promise you it's going to be better. He's like, I understand the flaws with season 1. I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, sick. I'm like, cool. And then he followed me, and I was like, all right, cool.
See, I've never that's amazing. That's like the whole Kevin Smith thing. Which, by the way, I will be doing unboxing. Thanks to you for the recommendation. I did grab Mallrats, and we'll be.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, but
I wanted it, but the problem I have, I know I'll cut you off, but the problem I have with ordering from Secret Stash is to get things shipped here from them for some reason is really expensive.
Yeah.
And then they don't cover the border fee either. So if my bill is high, I have to pay extra once it gets here. Like I order from them a lot, but it's just you have to know exactly what you want, and you have to order it all at once. You can't make small orders from them.
Gotcha. By the way, if you guys aren't aware of what we're talking about, Kevin Smith, a.k.a. the creator of Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and James Silent Bob, has a comic book shop. You can watch it on Comic Book Men called Secret Stash, James Silent Bob Secret Stash. And we're talking about ordering, like, I actually ordered a comic book. Well, I'll keep that surprise. I ordered some stuff that I'm going to do an unboxing of that is signed by Kevin Smith. So, and thanks to John, he was the one that recommended that they had a sale on the Mallrats movie, which is my favorite Kevin Smith movie. But that's kind of sidetracked. And the main thing I wanted to say was that I scan and I see that when you do your reviews on Instagram, which, by the way, again, follow him on Instagram, Campo Reviews. And the thing is, I in my head I sit here and think about like the PlayStation 5 coming out, things of that nature. But then there's also like TV shows and movies. And like you said yourself, outside of Bill and Ted and New Mutants, I always had stuff planned out in my head. Okay, the next 6 months, I got this movie coming out, this movie coming out. I set dates for them. I say, okay, I'll do a review for this movie. I can't see this one. I don't have the time to see this one. So I'll do this movie instead, things of that nature. For you, you said you had to do television. Is there anything out, maybe even outside the world of movies that you've? Because I've noticed you still collect your pop vinyls, things of that nature. Which this all leads into Comic-Con, because I saw the pop vinyl show as well. The reason I'm asking this is because is there anything that you're saying, you know what, I'm the least excited about this, no whether it's a movie or a TV show, but the problem is with the way things with the Cocoa Puff virus, you can't get excited about stuff. So is there at least anything you can say outside of these movies that you're excited about, or are you just, is it that at that point that because we can't go outdoors, you've just lost all hope in that situation?
I wouldn't say lost all hope, but I would lean more towards that direction.
Right.
Hype wise, it's become for me, TV as a medium, it has become more viable because the animated shows, for instance, they can make those shows without all of them being together in a room.
Yep.
So those shows, there's a lot of hope. Like Rick and Morty new season, I'm jacked to get that whenever 75 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Solar Opposites 2, season 2 of Duncanville, season 3 of Final Space, season 2 of Crossing Swords, and like there's a lot of animated like adult shows now are really doing really well.
Yeah,
and I think it's so much easier to consume. I don't have to sit for 3 hours and watch it. I can watch 3 episodes today, 3 episodes tomorrow, and if it's a short show like Crossing Swords, it only has, I think, 8 episodes and they're 20 minutes each. I just binge the whole show in a row. And I same with Solar Opposites, right?
Exactly.
I watched episode 1. I was like, oh, this is amazing. In the length of one movie, I watched an entire season of a show, and it's more rewarding because it's you completed something. Like, and not to say this, that, the other thing. My most excited things right now are probably PS5. Well, the new wave of systems, to be honest. I'm not really picking one. Probably by PlayStation because most people have PlayStation. It's the way that I know. Pretty excited for that. It's TV shows. The new Funko Pops that are coming out. Basically that. Like, there's some other stuff here and there, but that's my hype has mostly gone towards buying sports cards lately. That's like my new thing. But TV shows, I gotta give it to that. Like, okay, we're getting The Boys,
which I haven't seen, and I need to see.
Just go watch it now.
See, you know what? You know what's funny? You love it. Your brother hates it. Okay, again, his brother is Nicky, RLG. Go check it out. Anyway, your brother hates it. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I actually watched The Boys panel because a lot of people, when we watch it, so I distanced myself and walked away because they were talking about spoilers during the panel. So I didn't actually watch the panel. I let it stream and everything, and I went and got something to eat and so on and so forth. And I want to watch it, which, unfortunately, when it comes to, like, I will say HBO Max and when it comes to Amazon Prime, those are expensive deals to have those services. HBO Max is kind of, went down. It's now cheaper. But as far as, like, Amazon Prime, they're expensive to have. That's why I haven't been able to do it. So, hence, I'll have to watch it another way. But my point of the thing is, I haven't gotten to see it yet. And unfortunately, there's always that good or bad situation where people are like, oh, it's good, it's bad. And that's a prime example right there where I know you would genuinely love it, but your brother did not. And like, for example, I'm gonna ask you this: did you see the Watchmen series on the HBO Watchmen series?
No, I didn't. Okay. Do I want to watch it? Yes, but for some reason, I'm not pulled towards watching it. Like, every time I'm like, I should watch it now, and then I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be really boring.
Okay, so if you're telling me that you like The Boys, you're gonna love Watchmen. The reason I thoroughly enjoyed Watchmen is because it actually takes a different road to the movie. And the thing is, even Alan Moore didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I was sketchy, but I ended up buying, like, the box set. And then when I started watching it, I would say even after the first episode, it hooked me.
Okay, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's so... The reason it hooked me is because of just what happens in the first episode, but what leads into it and what its description of. And see, the thing is you're gonna it does talk a lot about racial insensitivity or sensitivity, if you however you want to look at it. And it's such a dark look when it comes to superheroes. Like, when we're talking about super and everything, it has that connotation without having, like, the messed up brain situation. And it's just basically another way of looking at Watchmen. I think I said Mystery Men for some reason, but anyway, but it's a different way of looking at Watchmen, and I definitely recommend it to people because it's something different, and we need something different right now. And a lot of people say it's comparative to the pandemic because all the risks that people are taking, and it is. It's really odd how it does kind of coexist with that. But it's one of those movies or shows you have to watch just to see it. And I feel like it's one of those shows that it makes me kind of want a season 2, but at the same time, I feel like they can leave it where it's at, and that's the best way I can put it.
Well,
but yeah.
The creator of the show, whoever it is, I don't remember, said that it was never intended to make another season, and they're not going to work on a second season. So if a second season gets made, it's going to be by another creator, and it will be a different style.
Right. But again, just watch the series and everything, because the ending, I love the way they ended it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but that's right. That was intended to be that way by the creator. And I want to watch it. I'm going to mark that down.
Yeah, most definitely. I would say go watch that. I will try to pick up also with the boys and everything, because I did watch the Comic-Con panel as well.
The boys, Umbrella Academy, and I'm Not Okay with This are 3 shows you should watch if you like comic book superhero type stuff. I'm Not Okay with This is really good with the girl from It.
Oh, really? No, see that I didn't know about that show. I did watch the first season of Umbrella Academy, but I haven't watched the second season yet because I just haven't had time.
It's not as good as The Boys, but Umbrella Academy is an enjoyable 12 episodes or whatever it is. Like,
okay, so if you're saying that The Boys is better than Umbrella Academy, then I probably
The Boys is amazing.
Okay,
it completely flips the whole genre on its head.
Okay, I'll definitely have to look at it then.
I'm super interested in the Ninja Turtle toys coming out. I don't know if you saw that stuff.
Yeah,
they look amazing.
I saw that. Are you talking about the one that coming out of their Shell Tour figures, or which one are you talking about?
All of them, like every turtle thing, the whole NECA line that's coming.
Yeah,
like I have all the original movie figures now.
See, I don't, and I want them so badly, but I don't have the money for it.
I'm trying to get a Super Shredder.
Oh God,
which just came out.
I saw someone did unboxing for the. You remember when they did the concert? Like I was one of those kids that actually got to see the Ninja Turtles in concert.
Those toys look amazing.
Yeah,
and
they do.
I completely despise that whole idea, but they look so good that I feel like I can't not buy them.
And it's funny because we just talked about like horrible movies or like guilty pleasures, and that's funny because you know what? I was one of those kids. I actually got one of the styrofoam pizzas thrown at me. I was one of those kids in the audience that actually saw the Ninja Turtles like playing the music.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, but I was so excited, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm watching this, and I knew it was bad because I was at that age. I was like 9 or 10, so I was like, okay, this isn't good. But at the same time, at that point, I already had the tape. I played constantly in my head because I was listening to it, so excited to see the show. So, like, you know how you get hyped up and you hype yourself up, like, even with bad. So, when it comes to the neckline, because unfortunately, when it comes to the neckline figures, the only one I own is the Weird Al Yankovic figure. And it's unopened. I got it from when I saw him in concert. And it's a NECA line. When it comes to the figures, they made the original Ninja Turtles, as in they made the original comic book ones, the cartoon ones, and they've made the movie ones.
Yeah, I have one on me. I don't know if anyone could see that. It's Shredder.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I mean, Splinter.
Splinter, yeah. You have the Shredder one too, don't you?
I have Shredder and I have the Turtles. And I have a pre-order for the Raph in the trench coat versus Casey Jones box set.
No way. Okay, see, again, we were talking about earlier. Those are lines like instructors Casey Jones. Look, I don't want to fight you. It's not box pal. Jose Canseco bet? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
I don't know cricket, but I know crumpet.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those great movies.
What's a crumpet?
Oh my God! The big turtle with a trench coat. You're quoting LaGuardia, right? But anyway, my point to the whole thing is if it wasn't for NECA, and I totally agree, if it wasn't for NECA in general, I don't think we would get any good lines when it comes to those series. Because I mean, and this is a good thing since we're talking about Comic-Con. I saw the panel with Todd McFarlane, and he was talking about his figures. And for the longest time, Todd McFarlane was kind of like the leader of making really high detailed figures. You know what I mean? They were the ones you always went to. And lately, he's been like, since he's gotten his figures into Walmart, he stated on his panel that he's got now making cheaper figures, big cheaper figures that they put out that don't have much joints to them, but kids can buy like for $5 or $10. But when it comes to the NECA figures, those do cost a pretty penny. But man, the detail that you get with those figures is just so amazing.
In comparison to the other high-end figures, they're a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in a $30 price point, $40 compared to like $120 for like a Mafex or one of those. Like, yeah, but I mean, like this, for example, this was $80 Canadian for a Chun-Li, and it's a small figure, but it's just like highly detailed. I mean, like I don't even take them out of the box, but
right.
It's the price you pay for figures nowadays is crazy, and McFarlane is doing a good thing with his line, but his issue was they started out super high end.
Mm-hmm.
They were extremely high end, and then they got kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And then now they're starting to get better again. Like
Yeah.
he's re-releasing the original line of Spawn.
Really?
And they look amazing. Like I cannot wait to get one.
Well, that's like I know he actually now he has a license with DC as well. Like DC.
Yeah, DC is McFarlane now.
Yeah, exactly.
Only multiverse.
Yeah, and those figures are amazing. What I've seen so far in that little line has just been amazing.
The problem with them is they're too big.
Yeah. Well,
they're 7 to 8 inch figures, which don't match up with anything else. So, I mean, I don't take them out of the box, so for me, it's not a matter. But the actual boxes are gigantic. Like I can't store them. I just, as much as I love them, the way they look, I can't buy them. It's not viable.
Well, I can't remember what brand it was back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like a lot of people that are watching this video may not be familiar with like an old magazine called Toy Fair and things of that nature, where they'd have like their Toy Fair comics in there. And the thing is NECA. The reason why I like that we talk about NECA is because it's one of those things. It feels like it's a type of figures that you're going to see in an episode of Robot Chicken. You know what I mean? Like You're going to see a figure that you're not going to see normally. Like you go to Walmart, you're going to see superhero characters. When it comes to NECA, again, you're going to see Weird Al Yankovic and like again the coming out of your shell tour with Ninja Turtles with little guitars.
A lot of horror stuff. A lot of horror figures.
And I mean, but it's not even just that. There's a lot of different stuff they've done before. So, and that those figures actually work good with some of the older figures that used to have the joints back in the day. And I can't remember what company made them. It might have been. It wasn't NECA. Well, it might have been, but it was the old figures like Spider-Man and the Hulk, where it had like the cloth bodies, but then it had like the plastic bodies with the cloth outfits, but then like the plastic head.
Yeah.
And that they always had at least something of the same size when it came to those figures. So the adjustment of trying to put like a McFarlane figure with a NECA is never going to work. But it's the same situation when it comes to like the Marvel Legends line, or even like their DC line, or even looking at the Fortnite figures. You know, you have so many, because I've noticed McFarlane actually makes some of the detailed Toy Fair, not Toy Fair, but the Fortnite figures. But then they have the smaller ones as well that are like the original 80s G.I. Joe size.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends on what you're looking for in that situation. But at the same time, when it comes to Todd McFarlane, he always did like maybe rock bands or like horror. But I never felt outside of maybe like Austin Powers that he went outside the line of like odd things that people wouldn't buy. Where NECA, on the other hand, is going to the bizarre stuff like, oh, you like this guy? All right, we'll make one out of him. There's nothing else about him except, like I said, it's like the Weird Al thing. There's only 2 Weird Al figures, one of him in the white nerdy outfit and one of him just him. And it's like you can't do anything else with that. But at least now your Weird Al figure can rock and jam out with the Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean?
I got the Funko, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point. At least now, if I wanted to, if I got the coming out of their shells tour as Ninja Turtles, I could literally have Weird Al standing right beside them and literally have a concert with Weird Al and the Ninja Turtles.
I want that very badly.
Yeah, exactly. But like, what other toy line would do that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's the reason why I brought that up and everything. But at least it's good to see the pop vinyls, because I know one of my pop vinyls, the most recent one I bought was this, the child one.
Yeah, I have that. Oh, you got that one. Nice.
So
that one's harder to find. I have the one with him with the cup.
Yeah, I want that one, and I actually that one came out after this one. I got this one when they first talked about it. So
yeah, those ones are not as easy to find.
Are they? Oh, is it super rare then?
It's not super rare, but it's harder to find than the other 2. There's the one with him with the frog in his mouth and the one with him with the cup.
Well, I do want the cup one, but I got that one. That was the first one I found, and I grabbed it. And I was like, you know what? That's the only one they had available at the time. I grabbed it right away. And then they brought up the one with the soup bowl or the soup cup, and I'm like, dang it, that's the cutest one. I want that one instead.
Yeah,
now.
That's why I got it. I was like, I have to have that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna still try to get it, but I'm kind of glad now that you told me that one's actually kind of, you know, it's hard to find. So I'm glad I grabbed it. But yeah, that's a prime example right there of things that I don't know what else they're coming out with the pop vinyl line. I know they did a show and they have these new figures coming out that come in like I can't remember. It's like these little containers, like soda containers now. So it's like a pop vinyl soda, but they open it up and it has a little figurine in it.
I like the idea of it, but like I don't need to collect any more things.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw it, I didn't know there was a figure in there, so I'm like, I wonder what the flavor tastes like. Then they open it up, and I'm like, oh, damn it! I would.
This guy would bring it home and like open it. I'm so thirsty, and there's like a toy inside. Like, oh fuck.
So but either way, I didn't understand the concept until I saw them open. I go, okay. I mean, I don't understand why a soda can in particular, but the figures themselves are adorable as heck. So. But yeah, as far as Comic-Con and everything, everything we brought up was things that they had in the panel, and I will put a link in the description at the end of all the panels that I actually attended the live streams if you want to go watch them. But it was dreadful. I mean, we did kind of get off track, but that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about what we were excited about. And unfortunately, Comic-Con and E3 and PAX were always those things that led us to, hey, we've got this to be excited about, whether it's action figures, video games, movies, TV shows, cartoons, so on and so forth. And we don't get that this year. We didn't have an E3. Comic-Con's the only thing I feel like we had, and it was just so shoddy. And it's such a dismal thing to think right now that we don't have those things to look forward to or get excited about, because we don't have any kind of scope outside of searching up what we could find on our own, or us as YouTubers can say to you, hey, this is what's coming out. You know what I mean? Hopefully you're watching. So, but yeah, I'm again on my end. I don't think it was as successful either. I think it was boring, but at least we did get to see some stuff coming out that a little bit excited about. But after August, outside of the PS5, I don't know what to look forward to, and I hope we get something to look forward to.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, exactly. Got it pre-ordered as well too, so I'm ready for that. Which we'll be doing live streams on that as well. But John, is there anything you wanted to add to end this off, or is there anything that that you wanted to, anything at all, basically?
No. Subscribe to RLG2. Subscribe to Gamer Podheads if you're watching this and you're watching it on Gamer Podheads. Follow me on Instagram, campo.reviews, and I won't follow you back.
But I will leave links to all these and everything. So, but there you guys have it. Comic-Con. It was crap. Hopefully it's better next year. But go see these movies and go collect these figures and go watch these cartoons. Everything we recommended, we think you should do, because we're Lord. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for watching. Again, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe button. I am Puttyman with Gamer Podheads. John, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this weird video.
Thank you for being a friend.
Exactly. Anyway, as always, I am Puttyman with Gamer Podheads, and do not forget, we're about to high score. Check one of these videos over here. Blah blah. We're just gonna end here. Peace out. Talk to y'all later.